Look at this. Ugh, golly. Stuff's ridiculous, right? It's not even noon yet on a Sunday, but we're gonna send it anyway. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm your host, Chris Jones, and thank you so much for being here today, taking time out of your busy schedule. So we're gonna get into some interesting territory today. So we've all seen the stretchy Elastomer-Style baits, right? Man, thinking about the first time I encountered that stuff, it was called Strike King 3X, I believe is what it was called. It was like Strike King 3X plastic or something. It was the really stretchy stuff, and if you left it in your tackle box with your other baits, it would melt down and turn into this big puddle of goo and completely ruin everything around it. I didn't care for the stuff so much. Now you see it in Z-Man baits and things like that, the stretchy elastomer stuff. So, you know, I've had a ton of requests on the channel to remelt Z-Man. Only problem is it really kind of doesn't remelt, and you just wind up getting just a big mess. And even if you could remelt it, you can't really work with it very easily. What if I told you there was a glitch in the matrix, okay, right? That would allow you to make the super indestructible, super stretchy, elastomer type baits on your own. Okay, so what you see before you is basically the setup and materials we're going to be using today. And what this material is it's essentially just a silicone. This is a very high-end silicone that's used in like prosthetics in the film industry for making like fake skin, or you know, I guess a monster face in a movie. It's very stretchable, it's very indestructible, and it holds its form. And like I said, Travis Crossman used to experiment with this kind of thing all the time. And he said, hey, if you want to get the elastomer baits that stretch a mile, don't break, and retain their form and function for the bait, he said this is the stuff to get. I guess now the question is, what color do we want to do? I think I'm going to go with this green, because I already opened it because I just wanted to see what this stuff looked like. So I've already got the green on my fingers, so I guess we'll just go with this green. And it's actually a really pretty shade of green. It's almost identical to LureWorks Emerald Green, which is something I have a lot of experience with, so maybe we'll get some good results with that. So here we go. I'm going to guinea pig one of my Pyrex cups. I'm not sure if you're really supposed to mix this up in maybe, you know, like a Dixie cup or a, you know, disposable cup. I'm going to use one of my good cups here, and hopefully we can get some good results. So I think to start, I'm just going to coat this Pyrex cup with a little bit of this lubricant here, just in case. I don't want the stuff to stick to the sides so much that that I can't really get it cleaned. You know, although once silicone cures, you can then peel it out, much like your plastic after it's been cured. So basically, I need to mix these two halves individually, and you can see both halves of this stuff are clear. Okay. A lot of silicones that you get, for example, these silicones were obviously blue and purple. This one is clear, which is nice, of course. That way you can add color to it. You know, again, this is used for like movie prosthetics and things that need very, very precise coloring. And what we're doing today, obviously, is no different. We want to be able to color it and color it precisely. We're going to add some flake. And I mean, hopefully we get a real good-looking, functional bait out of this stuff. Okay, so I went ahead and got out my third mold, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out a half cup of part A and then another half cup of part B. That way I know that I'm getting equal measurements, and you know, I need to make enough of this stuff to fill these molds. And I said, well, if I'm going to make a cup, I think that'll fill about 3 molds, so I might as well try to fill as many molds as I can. You know, again, this stuff is very expensive per bait. But I think it's going to be awesome. So here we go. I've got both sides already mixed up. So now I want to try to add about a half cup. Okay. Yeah, that's almost perfect. Now, obviously, you know, people that have a lot of experience mixing up materials like this, you know, you can do it by weight. I am eyeballing it. Well, that's what these measuring cups are for, right? Okay. We're going to stop it there. Okay, it is exactly at half a cup. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour part B in, okay? Till we get it to a full cup. And you know, I'm choosing these big 7-inch Stank-X rocket molds, you know, because I don't know how easy or not easy it is to really pour this stuff. And I don't want to try to pour it in like some teeny tiny mold and just have it come out terrible, because I truly don't want to waste the material, because like I said, it is pretty expensive. Okay, so before we mix those together, we're going to add a little bit of this green pigment. And it looks very, very concentrated. So we're not going to add much. We're just going to add a little bit and kind of see what that gets us. You know, again, these are brand new materials to me. Never used any of this stuff before. Let me grab a new popsicle stick. Always good to have a bunch of those laying around. Little stirring sticks. I use these to mix epoxy and rod building and all sorts of things. So here we go. Yeah, wow, that stuff is pretty concentrated. But, you know, I didn't want to use too much color because we're planning on putting some flake in this as well. And we want to be able to see through it enough to really see that flake. Boy, that's pretty right there. Look at that, y'all. I'm liking this. I think it's going to be a pain to pour. That's why I'm using these big molds here. That way I stand a better chance of getting a result that I like. We're going to add a little bit more pigment. There we go. Yeah, that pigment is like a syrup. It is thick and it is concentrated. It's very, very concentrated stuff. This will probably come out looking sort of like a saltwatery color. And you know, one of the things I was thinking about, because this is not hot, your glitter is not going to bleed or fade or fold. So we can use glitters that we normally have trouble with, like a sparkle violet glitter. You know, so like if you look at that effect that it has, well, you really can't even tell. But you know, stuff like this, as soon as it hits hot plastic, it basically gets ruined. So we're gonna use that in here today. Yeah, because I think that we can get away with it. And this stuff's so thick. Oh, look at that. I hope that's coming through on camera. You know, because this stuff's so thick, glitter suspension should not be a problem. Like it's not like the glitter's just gonna all sink to the bottom. At least I really don't think. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can even see that effect. This glitter is very difficult to see the effect. And then we're going to also add some string silver hologram to it. So you'll definitely be able to see this a little bit better. But I figure we'll mix up a nice, shiny, vibrant color for these stretchy rockets here. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Guys and gals. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that stuff does not pour easy. It is... Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess it pours like regular silicone, but normally you're not trying to pour it as precisely as this necessarily. I like this color. You know, and obviously something like this that you're pouring in this cold liquid form, you know, laminates are probably not possible because I feel like they would just kind of melt together. I don't know. Just kind of let that get down into the tail portion of the mold. Oh no, I guess it's gonna need some help. It's gonna be a little messy, gonna require some trimming. No real surprise there. You know, again, you are limited with your workability here. It's not the most user-friendly stuff. Okay, that one's done. Alright, put that one over there. On to the next one. Super exciting though. Anytime you do something new, you know, that's what makes this so exciting. Trying to like get a good shot of this color. Yeah, look at that little violet hologram flake in there. Yeah, I wanted y'all to like really see this the way that it's supposed to look. Okay guys, so it's only been about 10 minutes, or maybe about 15 minutes, and this came off the edge of the cup. Look at this. Ugh, golly. Stuff's ridiculous, right? Okay, it has been 25 minutes, not even the entire time that you're supposed to take to demold. But as you can see, everything is already in one piece. So we are going to lay it out now to finish curing. It's still a little bit sticky, so what I'm going to do is just kind of lay it out, let the fan blow some wind on it to hopefully cure up the rest of it. But I mean, as you can see, even after 20 some odd minutes, everything's in one piece and able to come out of the mold. Well, would you look at that? All three came out, all the little extremities filled, the tails filled, and the best part is, look at this. Goes right back to its shape, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. I mean, this stuff is literally indestructible. So they're probably not done fully curing. You know, this is a pretty thick bait. If you were to make a much smaller bait, or maybe a thinner piece like skin, for example, in a movie, it definitely does cure up in that 40 to 45 minute slot, guaranteed. But these are pretty thick, so they're still just slightly tacky to the touch, just barely. So we're going to let them sit a little bit longer, and then we're actually going to put eyes on them, and then we're going to do something crazy. We're going to try to inject some of this stuff into one of our aluminum injection molds using a aluminum hand injector. How that's going to work, we're about to find out. Alright, so we're going to try some black pigment with some really bright chartreuse green string glitter. So I think that might look okay. Where's my little spoon? I can never find the spoon. There it is. Okay, so just a little bit of black pigment here. Again, this stuff probably goes a long way. Great value on these pigments though, and it's nice to know that you can buy pigments that are made for this stuff, that are 100% going to work. That way you're not kind of out here just trying random stuff and then wasting some of this expensive material. All right, now we're going to add our flake, and then just like before, we're just going to mix everything up together nice and slow. That way we're not mixing too many bubbles in. So get our popsicle stick, and again, a nice, slow, but thorough mixing. You really don't want to mess this stuff up. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to spray some of that mold release in the mold, and then also in the injector, and then I'm going to have to pour this cup into the injector. This stuff's too thick. I don't think you can draw it up. Okay, here we go, y'all. This is going to be kind of silly. What the heck are we doing, you guys? Oh, that's not even in focus, my bad. I'm watching what I'm doing and not the monitor. Yeah, this is absolutely silliness. Silliness. Well, let's get it all in there. We're gonna have a lot left over, but that's okay. Figured just try it on one mold first and see what happens. Yeah, boy, this is gonna be something. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's get a little purged out first. Yep. Wow. You definitely have to force this stuff pretty hard. You can see all that mold release coming out of the vents. I think it worked though, as far as filling the mold. Yeah, I don't know. We will find out. I held some pressure there. Dang, I had enough for 2 molds. All right. Well, shucks. You know what? While that's still usable, I'm gonna go grab another one of these molds and try to fire off another round off camera. All right, we got some eyeballs on them. Check those out. So some 12mm, kind of purple and silver dead meat customize. I mean, look at that. That is so cool. The indestructible swim bait. And I'll tell you, the durometer of this, it feels exactly like dead-on craw tube. So like the amount of hang in the tail, you can see the tail isn't just flopping down. You know, the bait stays nice and firm, but it's going to have lots of nice action. To me, it feels exactly like the dead-on plastics craw tube durometer. And man, what an awesome thing. So we have our jerk baits still curing up in the molds. So we will meet you back whenever those are done next. So it's been about 15 minutes or so, and the sides of this are already set up enough to where I can kind of show you that this stuff does clean up pretty nice. Okay, so basically now we just want to trim that off. Okay, let's see how our Smooth On Dragon Skin injected jerk baits did. Drum roll, please. All right. Will this mold open up? Ooh. Okay. Gonna be a challenge. Gonna be a real challenge. I put plenty of mold release up in this thing, but it looks like I'm really gonna have to pry it open. Okay, so that actually worked really well. The problem is it flashed, but the cavities actually filled in quite well. You know, a few little bubbles here and there, but that could just be my poor mixing. But I mean, look at the, oh, I broke one. Ah, there was an air pocket. Okay, let's see if these other ones did a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, it's still, I mean, look at that. Little air pockets here and there, which probably weakened it a little bit, but I mean, this is still, I mean, golly, look at that. So, yeah, almost virtually indestructible jerk baits, and you know, aside from a little bit of flashing like that, those aren't bad. Okay, so let's look at positives and negatives. Positive is that this actually will inject. It will not ruin your mold or your injector. You can simply peel it right out once it has cured. Another positive, obviously, is the properties of it. The stretchability and overall durability would make excellent material for saltwater lures. Negatives, of course, are price, and we can see over here we had quite a few problems with that second mold. I have never seen issues like this when injecting this mold with plastisol, and those are not because of bubbles stirring up the silicone. That is just a byproduct of maybe how this stuff injects, and I think you can trap air in it pretty easily during the injection process. So I do think you're going to have some come out good, some come out horrible. None of these came out perfectly, but a few of them are, I mean, these 4 right here are absolutely workable 100%. And real quick before we sign this off, I do want to see kind of how these rig. So we're going to put a big swim bait on one of these, or excuse me, a big swim bait hook on one of these. This is the exact hook I would use on this bait normally. This is a size 12 owner beast hook. So yeah, these things are crazy big. Yeah, look at that, not too bad. Skin hook it. Well, sort of skin hook it. Well, either way. There it is. Super awesome, right? Yeah, now we're gonna sign off, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, today's color of the day, we're gonna be making a Junebug based color, and it's basically Junebug with added purple, and it's called Candy Bug. So I wanna add black grape as my color base. All right, find my spoon. And then we basically just want to make Junebug out of it. We want to add some small green flake, and then we also want to add some of the 0.035, which is the medium. Next up is this black grape flake. This is kind of what makes it Candy Bug. I used to call it Junebug Purple, J-Bug Perp, I guess for short. I don't know. That's what Simple Jack used to call it. And so it's a very, very simple formulation. Beautiful color. We're going to run this in dead-on plastic swim bait blend today, and we need more pigment. You can see that's too see-through. So we're going to add some more, and then we're going to run it in the AI 4-inch stinger mold. Yeah, right there's looking good. Might need just a little bit more saturation, and then we are done. Alright, now we're going to try to run all 3 of these molds. Not sure if we have quite enough plastic here, but we're going to give it a go. We'll at least get 2. Looking good, feeling good. Beautiful color again. Alright, got all 3. It's nice to be working with Plastisol again. Alright, there we go. We will show those to you in just a moment. Oh y'all, look at those. Look at this. We're gonna get them all out. Golly, just the vibrance in that purple is just, it's just insane. Look at that. There it is. Candy Bug, aka J-Bug Perp. Junebug Purple. Oh, come on, focus in for me. Yeah. Look at that. Also works well in a finesse worm or a big ledge worm, but we've been doing a lot of worms for the color of the day segment, so I said, hey, whatever I make today, I'm going to make it in a creature bait just to change it up a bit. But Candy Bug is today's color of the day.